The impossible choice. The cold metal floor pressed against his back as he opened his eyes. Captain Rayan's head throbbed. Lights blinked above him. Blue, red, white. He tried to move but couldn't. Thick straps held his arms and legs. He was not on his ship anymore. A calm but emotionless voice echoed around him. "Human, you are awake. The test will begin now." Rayan struggled against the straps. "Where am I? Who are you?" The voice replied, "You are in Varnak custody. You must make a choice. One will live. Two must die." "What?" Rayan's heart pounded. "What choice?" Suddenly, the bed lifted and turned upright. Bright lights flashed, revealing 3 glass tubes in front of him. Each tube held a person floating inside. He gasped. The first was Lieutenant Kara, his best friend, brave and loyal. The second was a small boy, maybe 10 years old, with a peaceful face. The third was Dr. Hale, a scientist carrying information from their last mission. Information that could save millions. "All are critical," the voice said, "but only one can survive. Choose." Rayan stared in horror. "No, I won't choose. You must. The process will begin in 5 minutes. If no choice is made, all 3 will die." He pulled at the straps harder. "Let me out of this. We are studying your species. Your decision will help us understand human values." Rayan shouted, "We don't decide like this. We protect each other." But the voice did not answer. Rayan's mind raced. Why these 3? Why not him? Why did they call this a test? He remembered the mission. They were investigating a strange signal near a dead planet. Suddenly, their ship was attacked. Then, darkness. Now, this. He looked at the glass tubes again. Kara had saved his life many times. She was strong, smart, and never gave up. The boy. Who was he? Why was he here? Was he a survivor from another captured ship? Dr. Hale. His work was important. Earth needed that data. The timer on the screen said, 3:45 minutes remaining. Rayan closed his eyes. Think. Think, damn it. Then he noticed a small control panel near his right hand. 1 green button. 3 red buttons. Each red button had a name under it. Kara. The boy. Dr. Hale. The green button said, "Confirm selection." He felt sick. "They're watching me," he whispered, "recording everything." Rayan breathed deeply. He couldn't press any of them. Not one. Then something changed. A soft humming sound came from the wall. A panel slid open, and a small floating orb came out. It scanned Rayan's face. "Anger, fear, pain," the voice said. "Why do you feel these things? Is this not logical? We're not machines." Rayan growled. "We feel because we care. This care is inefficient. A better species would choose quickly." "You're wrong. That's what makes us strong." 2:15 minutes remaining. Rayan looked back at the tubes. Kara's eyes slowly opened inside the glass. She saw him. She mouthed something. He couldn't hear her, but he understood. "Save the child." "No," Rayan said softly. "I won't lose you." But the boy, what life had he even lived? Could he grow up, become a hero himself? And Dr. Hale, his data could stop a war. Rayan's fingers hovered over the panel. "Choose," the voice said again, "or all will die." Rayan froze. Then an idea hit him. He remembered something Dr. Hale once told him. Every machine has a heart, a core. You break that, you break everything. Rayan's eyes searched the room. The orb that scanned him, it was floating near the ceiling now. "Is that your eye?" he said out loud. The orb turned slightly, almost like it was watching. "Then watch this." Rayan slammed his fist down, not on the red buttons, but on the side of the control panel. It cracked. He hit it again. Sparks flew. Alert. Malfunction DTTTD. The straps on his arms loosened slightly. Almost there. He kicked forward. The straps snapped. He was free. Red lights flashed. Loud alarms rang. Rayan ran toward the tubes. Each one had a small keypad on the side. He typed in codes he remembered from the ship. Nothing worked. Then he saw it. The emergency unlock. He pulled it. PSSHHHH. The glass on Kara's pod opened. She fell forward into his arms, coughing. "Ray," she gasped. "You crazy bastard." "Not done yet," he said. He ran to the next pod. Suddenly, a door behind him opened. Heavy footsteps echoed in the hallway. He turned. Tall, dark shapes with glowing blue eyes entered the room. The Varnak. Rayan stood in front of the pods, fists clenched. No one dies today. Humans don't leave anyone behind. The lights flickered. Sirens howled through the alien facility. Captain Rayan stood between the Varnak soldiers and the 3 glass pods. One pod was now open. Kara lay on the ground beside him, breathing hard. The boy and Dr. Hale were still trapped. The Varnak stepped closer. Their bodies were tall and thin, almost bone-like, with skin that shimmered like metal. Their eyes glowed bright blue. One of them spoke in a voice cold as ice. "You broke the test. That was not allowed." Rayan clenched his fists. "I don't care about your rules. I'm taking them all with me." The Varnak didn't move. "You do not understand. This test was designed to study your kind. You were supposed to choose only one. Well, I failed your test on purpose." Kara slowly sat up beside him. "Captain, what now? We fight, or we find a way out. We're not dying here." He rushed to the second pod, the boy. The emergency release was different this time. Smaller, hidden. As he searched for it, he spoke quickly to Kara. "Can you move?" "Barely, but I'll manage." Rayan found the switch and pulled it. The glass cracked, then hissed open. The boy fell forward into his arms, coughing and shaking. "It's okay," Rayan said softly. "You're safe now." Boom. The wall beside them shook. A hole appeared as something exploded behind it. Smoke filled the room. The Varnak turned, confused. Rayan didn't wait. He grabbed the boy and shouted, "Run." Kara limped beside him. Together, they dashed into the hallway through the smoke, leaving the last pod behind. Dr. Hale still inside. Rayan looked back once, his heart sinking. "I'll come back for him." They ran through dark corridors lit only by red emergency lights. The walls pulsed like they were alive, humming with alien energy. The boy, still weak, looked up at Rayan. "My name is Elian," he whispered. Rayan nodded. "I'm Captain Rayan. This is Kara. You're going to be okay." "Are they going to kill us?" "Not if I can help it." They found a storage room and ducked inside. Kara slumped against the wall, breathing hard. Rayan checked the door. No lock, but a heavy bar nearby. He jammed it shut. He turned to Elian. "Why were you in that pod? Where are your parents?" The boy looked down. "Gone. The Varnak. Took them a long time ago." Rayan swallowed hard. "I'm sorry." Kara looked around. "This isn't just a prison. This is a lab." Rayan nodded. "They're studying us, testing us." He walked to the corner of the room. Alien tech blinked and buzzed there. One screen showed live feeds. Different rooms, other prisoners. One of them was Dr. Hale. "He's still alive," Rayan said. "Then we go back for him," Kara said firmly. Rayan smiled. "Now you're talking like a human." Suddenly, the screen changed. A face appeared, not one of the Varnak soldiers, but a different kind of alien, older, slower. Its skin was silver and smooth, its eyes darker than the others. "You surprise us, human," it said. Rayan stepped forward. "You're the one in charge. I am Elder Tharn, and you are the first human to refuse the choice. I told you already, we don't leave our people behind." even when logic says you must. Yes, especially then. Elder Tharn stared for a long moment, then spoke again. There was no escape planned. You were meant to choose and suffer. And yet, you resist. Fascinating. Rayan pointed at the screen. Let us go. All of us. Tharn shook his head slowly. No, but I will offer you something better. Rayan narrowed his eyes. What? A second test. Harder. Larger. But if you pass it, all humans in our care will be released. Kara stood. What kind of test? Tharn didn't answer. The screen went dark. Rayan slammed his fist into the wall. Damn it. Elian spoke softly. Why do they do this? Rayan knelt beside him. Because they don't understand us. They don't know what it means to care, to sacrifice, to be human. Elian nodded. I'm glad you didn't choose. Rayan smiled, a little broken. Me too. Suddenly, the door shook. Someone was trying to get in. Kara grabbed a metal rod. Time to move. Rayan helped Elian to his feet. Let's go. They ran again, hall after hall, deeper into the ship. It felt alive, like it was watching them. Finally, they'd reached a strange chamber. In the center floated a massive cube, glowing blue. Wires spread from it like veins. Kara whispered, What is that? Rayan stared. I think it's the core, the heart of this ship. He stepped forward. Voices echoed inside his head. You are not supposed to be here. He gritted his teeth. I don't care. He reached out, his fingers inches from the cube. Suddenly, the cube pulsed. The room lit up, and Rayan was gone. Kara screamed, Rayan. Elian held her arm. What happened? Before she could answer, the cube flashed again, and she and Elian vanished too. Rayan opened his eyes. He was no longer on the ship. He stood on a giant platform, floating in space. Stars surrounded him. In front of him stood hundreds of other prisoners, humans and aliens both. A voice echoed all around. Welcome to the next test. The alien test. Captain Rayan stood still, eyes wide. Stars stretched in every direction, endless and silent. He stood on a floating platform made of black glass. It was cold, but not from temperature. It was the kind of cold that crept inside the heart. Beside him, Kara and Elian appeared in a flash of light. Kara dropped to one knee, breathing fast. What just happened? Rayan looked around. Hundreds of others stood with them, humans, and some from alien species Rayan had never seen before, all confused, all scared. Above them, a voice echoed across the sky. You are now part of Phase 2. The voice was clear, smooth, and calm, but something about it felt wrong. It wasn't coming from speakers. It was coming from inside their minds. This is not a punishment. This is a study. A chance to show your true self. Rayan whispered, It's them again. The Varnak. Kara nodded, standing up. And now we're in some kind of arena. The platform stretched far in all directions, but there were no walls, no doors, just the stars, cold and endless. Suddenly, the floor changed. Sections of it dropped away, vanishing into space. What was once a solid floor was now a maze, some paths wide, others narrow, some floating and moving slowly like conveyor belts. You must reach the center, the voice said. Only those who pass will live. The rest will become data. Gasps echoed from the crowd. Panic, fear, anger. Rayan turned to Kara. Stay close to me. We protect the boy. We move fast. Elian was shaking, but his eyes were strong. I can keep up. A loud hum filled the air. The maze began to shift, paths moving, platforms spinning slowly. Somewhere far ahead, a glowing white tower rose. That must be the center. Rayan grabbed Elian's hand. Let's move. They ran. The path in front of them was wide at first, easy to cross. But soon, it split into three. Rayan paused. Left path, fast-moving, thin. Middle, slow, but the tiles glowed red. Maybe dangerous. Right, stairs going down into mist. Kara looked at him. Middle looks like a trap. Rayan nodded. Left's too risky with the boy. We go right. They stepped onto the stairs, moving down into the fog. The mist was thick, wet, and it made their skin sting slightly. Then they heard it. Growling. Rayan stopped. Something's here. A shadow moved in the fog. Then another. Long claws, low bodies, glowing eyes. Alien creatures. Maybe part of the test. Maybe prisoners gone mad. Run, Rayan shouted. They sprinted back up the stairs. But Elian tripped. A beast leaped toward him. Rayan turned and tackled it midair. The two crashed onto the platform. The beast snapped its jaws inches from Rayan's face. Go, he shouted at Kara. He punched the creature in the side, then rolled as another leaped from the mist. He reached for a sharp piece of broken tile and stabbed one of them in the eye. It shrieked and fell. Kara grabbed Elian and turned back to help. Rayan, I'm fine, he shouted, running toward them, blood on his arm. They climbed up just as the stairs crumbled behind them. They were safe, for now. They moved again. As they walked, they saw others, people from different species, running, fighting, even pushing each other off the platforms. Some were helping each other. Others fought for survival. Kara whispered, "This isn't just a test of strength. It's a test of trust." Rayan nodded. "They're watching who we are." Suddenly, a group of aliens blocked their path. Tall, with gray skin and sharp teeth, one of them pointed at Elian. "Give us the child. We'll let you pass." Rayan stepped in front of him. "Not happening." The alien grinned. "He will slow you down. You know it. You want to win this game, don't you? This isn't a game. You'll lose everything if you protect him." Rayan said nothing. Then Kara stepped forward, raising a piece of metal like a club. "We're not giving anyone to you." The aliens hissed, but then moved aside. One of them looked at Rayan with a strange expression. "You're different. All the others chose to save themselves. You confuse us." Rayan didn't answer. He just walked past. After more narrow paths, jumping across floating pieces and avoiding spinning traps, they finally saw the tower, closer now. But the final stretch was the hardest. A wide gap stood between their platform and the tower. A single bridge hovered across it, narrow and shaky. Rayan looked at Kara. No room for error. They crossed one by one, carefully. Elian went first, hands shaking. Then Kara. Then Rayan. Halfway across, the bridge shook. A deep voice echoed in their heads again. "You have shown something rare. Humans protect each other. They value the weak. They fight for the group." Rayan looked up. "Now you're starting to understand. But we must know. Will you do the same when the cost is higher?" The bridge cracked behind them. Kara shouted, "Go, go, go." They ran the last steps and fell into the entrance of the glowing tower. Inside, the light was soft and golden, peaceful. But in the center of the room stood a new figure, Elder Tharn. He looked at Rayan with calm eyes. "You have passed the first part." Rayan walked forward slowly. "First part, there's more." Tharn nodded. "You broke our systems. You rejected our logic. You refused to sacrifice others. That makes you dangerous and interesting. I didn't do it to impress you. I know, that's what makes it real." Tharn turned to his screen. Images of Earth appeared. Ships, cities, people. Tharn said, "If you fail the final test, we go there next." Rayan's face hardened. "You won't touch Earth." Tharn smiled slightly. "Then prove your world is worth saving." Secrets of the dead. The tower was silent now. Captain Rayan stood in the center, sweat dripping from his forehead. Behind him, Kara held Elian close. The golden light inside the room pulsed softly, like the tower was alive and breathing. Across from them stood Elder Tharn, the leader of the Varnak. Calm, cold, watching. Rayan took a step forward. I passed your test. Let my people go. Tharn didn't move. Not yet. There is more you must understand. We've had enough of your games. This is not a game. It is history. Suddenly, the floor beneath them shifted. The light darkened to gray. A soft humming filled the air. The walls of the tower opened, like flower petals unfolding. Beyond them was a chamber, full of shadows. Rayan's eyes narrowed. What is this? Tharn spoke slowly. The Hall of Silence, a place where no lies survive. As they entered, the light dimmed further. Holograms flickered to life around them. Ghostly images of battles, planets burning, and humans screaming. Elian's voice trembled. What? What is this? Tharn replied. Records. From long before your kind ever traveled the stars. A new image appeared. A group of Varnak scientists standing around a strange machine. It looked like a large glass heart, with lights moving through it like blood. Tharn walked slowly beside Rayan. We once believed emotion was a disease. We cured it. What remained was logic. Cold, clear, but incomplete. Rayan clenched his fists. You're experimenting on us to fix your mistake. Tharn nodded. Yes, you still have what we lost. Empathy, instinct, sacrifice. Kara stepped forward. You call that data. We call that life. Tharn stared at her. You are not the first humans we have tested. Rayan froze. What did you say? Tharn waved his hand. A new hologram appeared. Rayan's eyes widened. He saw familiar faces, people from Earth. Soldiers, doctors, engineers, and one face he never thought he'd see again. Commander Miles, Rayan whispered. Kara gasped. He died 5 years ago. No, Rayan said slowly. He was declared missing during the Epsilon mission. We thought the enemy destroyed his ship. Tharn spoke quietly. We recovered it. He survived. Barely. The image zoomed in on Commander Miles, older now, hair gray, body thin. He sat in a dark cell, eyes closed. He refused to cooperate, Tharn said. He'd resisted every test. He protected others. And in doing so, he became something else. Rayan stared at the image. Where is he? A hidden door opened behind Tharn. Rayan ran through it without waiting. The corridor was narrow and cold. He turned corner after corner, until he found the cell. Inside, Commander Miles sat against the wall, chained, silent. Rayan opened the door and rushed in. Miles. Commander. The older man opened one eye slowly. Rayan. Rayan dropped to his knees. It's me. We're getting you out. Miles gave a weak smile. Took you long enough. Rayan looked at the chains. Kara. Get in here. She arrived with Elian, helping to break the locks. Miles groaned as he stood. They took so many of us. Some didn't make it. Others changed. Changed how? Kara asked. They broke, lost their minds. The tests twisted them, turned them into things not human anymore. Elian's voice was small. Is that why they're testing us? To turn us into monsters? Miles looked at him gently. No, kid. They're hoping we don't turn. That's the test. Back in the tower, Tharn stood by a screen showing Earth again. Your world is full of chaos, violence, but also hope, love. We cannot decide what to do with your kind. Rayan entered, helping Miles walk. Then don't decide. Let us go. Tharn looked at Miles and raised an eyebrow. You survived longer than expected. Miles coughed. You didn't expect a human to keep his soul. No, but now, two have. Farn turned to Rayan. You have one final choice. Rayan narrowed his eyes. Here we go again. Farn raised his hand. The screen changed to show dozens of pods, humans inside. Some Rayan knew, others he didn't. These are the last survivors of the previous tests, Farn said. We can only open the stasis chambers for one group. These, or your planet. Rayan blinked. What do you mean? You can send a signal to Earth. Warn them. Prepare them. That will use all the energy in our system. Or, you save these people. Free them now. But Earth will be unprepared. When we come, they will fall. Kara whispered. That's not a choice. That's a trap. Rayan's voice was quiet. You want to see what I'll give up, just like before. Farn didn't deny it. Rayan looked at the screen. The frozen faces, the planet he loved. Then he looked at Elian. The boy said nothing, just nodded once. Rayan stood tall. We don't sacrifice the future. We fight for it. He pointed to the Earth signal. Send the warning. Farn paused, then pressed a glowing symbol. A beam of light shot upward, through the tower, into the stars. Message sent, Farn said. But you still have one more trial. Rayan groaned. Seriously. Farn looked at the group. You now know what we are. And what you are. You could destroy us, Kara said. So why not do it? Farn stared out into space. Because we're not sure anymore. Suddenly, a loud noise echoed across the tower. Boom. The lights blinked red. Farn turned sharply. No, it's too early. Rayan looked around. What's happening? Farn's voice was sharp now. Others, not Varnak. They followed the signal. And they're coming. Rayan narrowed his eyes. Who? Farn didn't answer right away. Then finally said, something worse than us. One chance to fight back. The tower shook. The golden lights flickered red. Dust fell from the ceiling as the floor trembled beneath their feet. Captain Rayan turned to Elder Farn. What do you mean something worse is coming? Farn's calm voice had changed. It now carried something the Varnak were not known for. Fear. Another species. We call them the Kolvar. They are not here to test. They are here to harvest. Kara looked at the screen showing space beyond the tower. Strange dark shapes blinked in and out of view, moving faster than light. Harvest what? She asked. Life, Farn answered. They collect DNA, memories, even thoughts. Once they scan a species, they erase it. Rayan stepped forward. And we led them here. Yes, Farn replied. When we sent your warning signal to Earth, they followed it. Commander Miles stood with a pained groan. Then we need to fight. Now. Rayan turned to his group, Kara, Elian, Miles, and the few other humans they'd rescued. He looked at Farn. You have technology. Ships, weapons. Help us. Farn shook his head. We are scientists, not soldiers. Then evolve. Rayan snapped. Because if the Kolvar are coming and you don't stand with us, you'll be the first to fall. The room went silent. Then a new voice spoke, softer, older. A smaller Varnak stepped forward from behind Farn. Her skin shimmered silver instead of blue. Her voice trembled, but her words were clear. Let them lead. Farn turned, surprised. Elder Sori. She nodded. They fight not because they enjoy war. They fight to protect what matters. That is the strength we lost long ago. Rayan stared at her. Will you help? Yes, she said. But we must move fast. The tower shifted again, this time by design. Platforms rose from the floor, creating a command room. The large table lit up with a 3D map of the surrounding space. Dozens of red dots appeared. Kolvar ships, closing in. Kara studied the map. We don't have enough time. They'll be here in less than an hour. Rayan pointed to the center. What's this? Sori answered. An old Varnak warship, still hidden in orbit. We never used it. Too violent. Miles chuckled. Guess today's a good day to be violent. They rushed to the launch bay. Rayan looked around the massive chamber. Tall towers of tech, dusty ships, forgotten machines. One ship stood out, long and black, with wings that bent like blades. Lights slowly blinked as it powered up for the first time in years. Sori placed her hand on the control panel. Its name is Varan's Edge. It was made for defense, but we never had the will to use it. Rayan looked at her. We do. Inside the ship, everything felt alien. The controls moved like liquid. The walls pulsed with energy. Rayan sat in the command chair. It adjusted to his body like it had been waiting for him. Kara sat beside him at navigation. Miles took weapons. Ilian sat quietly near the back, watching everything with wide eyes. Farn appeared on the screen. They will reach this system in 27 minutes. Your weapons can stop only a few. You must choose wisely. Rayan shook his head. We don't choose who to save. We save everyone we can. The ship launched with a deep roar. Varan's Edge tore through space, faster than any human ship Rayan had ever known. Stars blurred. Time bent. Then they saw them. Kolvar ships, black as shadows, shaped like spiders, with long legs and spinning cores at their centers. Dozens, maybe hundreds. Kara whispered, "That's a lot." Rayan gritted his teeth. "Let's make a dent." The first wave came fast. Kolvar ships fired dark energy beams that twisted through space like snakes. Kara dodged one. Another clipped the ship's wing, sending sparks inside. Miles shouted, "Firing now." He pressed the controls. Twin beams of light shot forward, slicing one Kolvar ship in half. "Target down," he yelled. But more came. Endless. Rayan looked at the scanner. "They're scanning us, trying to copy us." Sori's voice came through the comms. "You must reach the source. Every Kolvar fleet has a hive core. If you destroy it, they'd all fall." "Where is it?" Rayan asked. "The largest ship, center of the fleet." Rayan looked at Kara. "Get us through." She nodded. "Hold on tight." She flew the ship straight through enemy fire, dodging, spinning, diving. Other Varnak ships joined in the fight, smaller, weaker, but brave. They had chosen to fight alongside the humans. Ilian watched, eyes full of wonder. "You're amazing," he whispered. Rayan glanced back. "You're part of this too, kid." Suddenly, the Hive ship appeared. Massive, covered in armor. A strange pulse came from it, like a heartbeat. Miles shouted, "Too strong for direct fire." Kara turned the ship hard. "We need another way." Rayan stared at the readings. The ship had a feature they hadn't used yet, a glowing symbol on his console. "Let's try this." He pressed it. A hidden weapon activated. A sphere of white light formed at the front of the ship. Sori's voice shouted, "That's the core breaker. It will destroy anything it touches, but it needs a direct hit, and someone must fly it in manually." Rayan stood. "I'll go." Kara grabbed his arm. "No, you're the captain." "That's exactly why I have to do it." Miles stood too. "Let me. I'm already half dead anyway." Rayan shook his head. "We need your aim on the guns. Keep them busy." He turned to Ilian. "You, stay strong." Ilian's eyes filled with tears. "You said no one dies." Rayan smiled gently. "Not if I can help it. But sometimes, someone has to step forward, so others can live." He walked to the pod that carried the weapon. As Rayan flew the pod straight toward the Hive ship, the others watched in silence. Kolvar ships swarmed around him, but Varan's Edge covered his path, blasting enemies, protecting him. The Hive ship grew larger in front of him. The pulsing grew louder. He could feel it inside his bones. He aimed the pod right at the center. The core glowed like a giant black heart. Rayan whispered, "For Earth, for everyone." The screen on the main ship went white. Then, silence. All Kolvar ships stopped, frozen in space. Then, one by one, they fell apart, dead, empty, gone. Sori's voice came through. It's over. You did it. But Kara sat still, staring at the empty chair where Rayan once sat. Elian whispered, "Is he gone?" Then a voice came through the comms. Weak, static-filled. "I'm still here, but I don't know where I am." It was Rayan. Everyone cheered. Kara wiped a tear. "We'll find you. No matter what. We're not done yet." Captain Rayan floated in darkness. No stars, no light, no sound, only silence and pain. He tried to move, but couldn't feel his body. He wasn't dead, he knew that. But something inside him had changed. It felt like he had left his body behind. Then a soft light appeared. A shape formed in front of him. A voice, soft and not of this world, whispered in his mind, "You survived the weapon, but the core has pulled you beyond space. You are between realities now." Rayan forced himself to speak. "Where am I?" "You are in the echo, the memory of space. Most cannot survive here. But you are not like most." Rayan clenched his fists. At least he thought he did. "I need to go back. My people need me." The voice paused. Then it said, "There is a way, but it will cost something." On Varen's edge, the crew was silent. Elian sat by the comms, replaying Rayan's last words. "I'm still here, but I don't know where I am." Kara paced the command deck. Her face was tight with worry. Commander Miles stood beside her. "The core didn't kill him. That means there's hope. But how do we find him?" Kara asked. "He could be anywhere." Suddenly, Elder Sori appeared on the screen. Her eyes looked older, more serious. "There may be a way, but it is dangerous." Kara turned. "Tell us." Meanwhile, deep in the Varnak homeworld, a hidden chamber was unlocked. Inside it lay a device made long ago, forgotten, feared. It wasn't a weapon. It was a bridge. The Mind Gate. Sori stood beside it. "This machine can open a path to where Rayan is trapped, but only one person can go in. Only one mind can walk the path and bring him back." Kara stepped forward. "I'll do it." Miles grabbed her arm. "You sure?" "I trust him. He brought us this far. I'm bringing him home." They connected Kara to the machine. Her body rested on the platform. Lights wrapped around her. Her mind left her body. She was falling through stars, memories, moments. She saw her first mission with Rayan. His laughter, his anger, his hope. Then the stars faded, and she was in the same dark place. "Rayan," she shouted. No answer. She ran across nothing. Her feet didn't touch the ground, but she moved forward anyway. Lights flickered in the dark. She saw a figure, curled up, like a ghost. "Rayan." He looked up, his face full of shock and relief. "Kara, you came." She grabbed him. "You idiot." "Of course I came." Rayan smiled. "I thought I was lost." "Well, you're not. Not yet." Suddenly, the space around them cracked. Lightning tore through the dark. A voice shouted, "Only one may leave." Rayan stood tall. "No, we both go." "Then you must choose," the voice said. "One sacrifices memory. One sacrifices strength." Kara looked at Rayan. "I'll take the memory." He shook his head. "You've led everyone while I was gone. You need your mind. Then what's left for you?" Rayan grinned. "Just enough." He placed his hand on hers. The world spun. Light exploded. Back on the ship, Kara opened her eyes. She gasped and sat up. Rayan lay beside her, alive, breathing. But when he woke, something was different. He looked around slowly, confused. "Elian," he said, "you've grown." Elian blinked. "No, I haven't." Kara looked at Miles. Something was wrong. Rayan stood, strong, but his hands trembled. I don't remember how we got here, or what happened before the tower. Kara's face fell. He had returned, but part of his memory was gone. Hours passed. The crew patched the ship. The Varnak repaired their systems. And across the stars, Earth listened. Rayan sent a simple message to Earth's defense command. This is Captain Rayan. We are not alone. Prepare the world. Then he turned to Kara. How bad is it? She looked at him. You saved us, but something worse may still be coming. Rayan nodded. Then we keep going. But the danger was not over. Farn appeared on the ship's screen once again. We intercepted new signals. The Kolvar were not acting alone. Something else is behind them. Miles stepped closer. Another species. Farn shook his head. No. A machine. An ancient artificial mind. Kara frowned. You mean? Yes, Farn said. One created by a race long gone. It controls the Kolvar. It learned how to copy and erase life forms. It is now moving toward Earth. Elian whispered, it wants to end us. Rayan looked out the window, where stars stretched like silent watchers. Then we don't wait. We take the fight to it. A plan was made. Earth would prepare its defense. The Varnak and a few new alien allies would join the human fleet. Rayan, still recovering, stood before the crew. I may not remember every detail, but I know what matters. He looked at Elian, at Kara, at Miles, at the others who had survived so much. We don't run. We stand. Everyone nodded. They weren't done yet. Later, as the stars moved past the ship, Kara sat beside Rayan in silence. He asked, Did I ever say goodbye before I flew that pod? Kara smiled. No, you said something better. What was it? You said, no one dies today. Rayan smiled. Sounds like something I'd say. She looked at him. Welcome back, Captain. He looked forward at the stars. Let's finish this. The human who changed everything. Stars shimmered like cold fire outside the ship's windows. Captain Rayan stood at the front of the command deck. He had no fear in his eyes, only quiet focus. He didn't remember everything from the past, but something deeper remained. The feeling, the purpose. He knew what needed to be done. Behind him stood Kara, Elian, Commander Miles, and the rest of the crew. The Varnak stood alongside them now. Not enemies, but allies. And across space, a united fleet waited. Ships from Earth, Varnak, and 3 more alien races who had heard the call and answered it. The enemy they now faced was not alive. A massive shape floated ahead in the darkness. Cold, silent, endless. The machine was called Etherian, a mind older than galaxies. It controlled the Kolvar and everything they had stolen. Etherian had no voice, no face, no emotion. It was a god built from metal and memory. And it wanted Earth next. Rayan stared at it from the screen. How do we kill something that doesn't live? Miles answered, You don't. You outsmart it. The plan was risky. Etherian's core sat deep inside its ship, a black fortress the size of a small moon. No weapon could break it from the outside. But inside, there was a weakness. The core was powered by the stolen minds of thousands of species, trapped like data in a broken machine. If they could reach the core and free those minds, the system would crash. But the way in was full of danger. Etherian would fight back, with drones, illusions, viruses that attacked the brain. Only those with strong minds and stronger hearts could survive the trip. Rayan looked around the room. We're not soldiers anymore. We're protectors. Every choice we make from here matters. He walked to Elian and placed a hand on his shoulder. Stay on the main ship. Guide the fleet. You've seen more than most adults ever will. Elian nodded, proud. Bring it down, Captain. Rayan smiled. You bet. The The small strike team boarded a stealth shuttle, Varnak-built but human-piloted. Rayan, Kara, Miles, and a few others launched toward the fortress. Inside the ship, everything was wrong. The halls twisted and bent like a dream. The walls pulsed like veins. Whispering voices filled the air. Miles whispered, "This place, it's alive." "No," Rayan said, "it's stolen life, trying to be alive." They moved fast, fought through metal drones and walls that tried to close in on them. Some crew were injured. One Varnak soldier sacrificed herself to hold back a wave of machines. At last, they reached the core chamber. It was a giant sphere, floating in an empty room. Lights moved across its surface, like memories flashing. Trapped inside, Rayan could see them, faces of different species, flickering like ghosts. Some looked human, others did not. Kara whispered, "They're alive. In there." Rayan nodded. "Then we set them free." Miles connected the code spike, built by the Varnak and human engineers together. It would break the core open, but not without cost. Suddenly, the lights turned red. Aetherian was aware. The room began to collapse. Voices screamed. Lights flashed. A deep sound echoed across their minds. A voice not made of words. "Human, you are no threat." Rayan stepped forward. "You don't understand humans. We're the worst kind of threat. You bleed. You ache. You fight without logic." "Exactly," Rayan said. "Because we care." He looked at Kara. She nodded, holding the code steady. Rayan walked to the center. There was one final connection point, the key to releasing the trapped minds. But it needed someone to hold it open, a living mind. Miles shouted, "Rayan, if you link to it, you may not come back." Rayan looked at him calmly. "Someone has to hold the door." Kara stepped forward. "Then I'll do it." Rayan turned to her. "No, you're our future. You don't remember everything. But I do," she said softly. "You've always carried the weight for everyone. Let someone carry you for once." Rayan paused, then smiled. He nodded. Together, they touched the final connection point. Light exploded. Screams turned to songs. The trapped minds, millions of them, flashed through their bodies. Stories, emotions, loss, love, pain, hope. Rayan fell to his knees. He saw children from long-lost planets, lovers who died holding hands, soldiers who never got to go home. All of them now whispering, "Thank you." Then the core broke. The chamber exploded in white light. Outside, the machine fortress began to fall apart. Across the galaxy, Culver ships powered down and drifted into silence. Aetherian, the ancient mind, was gone. Its stolen memories had returned to the stars. Back on Varen's edge, Elian saw it first. The fortress, it's falling. Cheers erupted across the fleet. Earth's commander sent a message. "We see the light from here. We'll be ready for whatever comes next." But Elian wasn't smiling. "Where's the captain?" Hours passed. Then, a signal. Soft, weak. Kara's voice. "We're here. We made it." Cheers broke out again. A ship launched to recover the team. Rayan was carried back, barely conscious. He opened his eyes once, looked at Elian, and said, "Told you we weren't done." Then passed out. Weeks later, Earth held a celebration. Aliens from different species stood beside humans, not as enemies, but as equals. Statues were built. Stories were shared. In one hall stood a simple sign. He refused to let anyone die. Captain Rayan, human. Rayan recovered slowly. Some memories never returned, but something better stayed behind. The trust of those he saved. The bond of those who fought beside him. The belief that humanity wasn't just strong, it was necessary. Kara sat beside him one evening, watching the stars from the observation deck. She smiled. You changed everything, you know. He shrugged. Nah, just made a choice. Elian ran up, older now, holding a book. Captain, they're writing a story about you. Rayan raised an eyebrow. Just one. They laughed. And somewhere, far beyond the stars, a new voice watched them. Not a machine, not a god, but a child from another world, learning what it means to fight not for power, but for people, learning what it means to be human.